right, guys, welcome back to Downtown Rams. We are officially kicking off our 2022 NFL Draft Prospect interviews. We've been waiting for it all year. I've been doing mock drafts since November. You know this if you follow me on Twitter. I love draft season, and I love getting to talk to these prospects. And today, joining us, we have Lecitus Smith, interior offensive lineman from Virginia Tech. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. First and foremost, thank you guys again for inviting me on you guys' podcast. I'm happy, that you guys even wanted to chat with me, and yeah, I'm doing good.
Love to hear it. And we talked a little bit about this to you before the show, but just to start this off, because we are fresh off of our team's Super Bowl win, and we hear that you did watch the Super Bowl, which I
Yes.
think the majority of the country did this year. What were your thoughts on it? And did you have like a Super Bowl party? Did you just watch with a couple friends? What was the deal?
Yeah, so honestly, it was just me and my girlfriend that sat down and watched the game together. We just made we made like a buffalo chicken dip, a nice buffalo chicken dip that she has like some recipe for, and it's really, really good. Made some wings and just sat down, just the two of us and watched the game together. On the second end, though, so we sat down, we watched the game from start to finish, even the halftime show. Really great halftime show. I thought it was a really, really good game. I must say, like I said, really good game, great win by the Rams. It did suck. It sucked tremendously to see Odell Beckham go down the way he did. That was just something that was just like, oh, no, no, no. So, because he was playing a really, really good game, to start off. But no, I think, especially, the Rams played a great game. Cooper Kupp stepped up when he needed to, and Matt Stafford did what he had to do to, bring that win home.
Hey, I'm with you there, Lecitus. When OBJ went down, Alexis and I are huge fans of him, and we've been fans of him before he went to the Rams. So just to see him go down like that, he's one of the good guys, and he worked his way back, and you just hope that the ACL tear, he's able to come back quicker, because they say with second time, he's able to come back quicker than that. Hopefully he's back for the season. Who knows what will happen there? But going into you as the player, at what age did you start playing football?
8 years old, I believe.
And when was it that you knew this wasn't just like a hobby? This was something that you wanted to do, for the rest of your, well, not for the rest of your life, but for your, to make a living, so to speak.
Yeah. I'd probably have to say it didn't hit me until maybe high school. Don't get me wrong. I always had dreams ever since I was little to play in the NFL. But it almost didn't feel real for me until high school, or not even. I honestly want to flip the strip and say, maybe midway through my college career, only because, like I said, I always had dreams. I always wanted to, but never really knew if I was good enough. So that always was in the back of my mind. Me just being realistic with myself, me just being honest, and not just say, oh, one day I'm gonna go to the NFL, but how will I do that? Am I good enough to play amongst those other great players that are, in the NFL now? So I definitely believe in myself now more than ever that I'm ready for it.
Yeah, that's awesome, and totally makes sense. What you're saying. That's, I think, a very pivotal age. When you talk to athletes, it's kind of like you have all these dreams as a kid, of course, and then when you get to that age, we're like, you know what, I believe in myself, and I think that I've got potential and all that good stuff. Was there any NFL player that you really looked up to at your position that you watched and felt that they kind of resembled the same way that you played and that you aspired to kind of follow in their footsteps?
Yeah. So I'd honestly probably have to say Wyatt Teller is a guy that I watch a good bit. Of course, he went to Virginia Tech. Really,
Yeah.
really good dude. We talk every once in a while. Maybe if I have a few questions for him, I hit him up on Snapchat or something like that. So, like I said, we talk every once in a while. But really, really good player. He's a guy that, especially last summer, before this past season, I was watching a whole lot of his film, and just pretty much trying to mimic my game after his and just trying to do some of the things he do on the field. And so yeah, he's a guy I'd love to follow in his footsteps.
He's just a constant reminder, man. I remember watching him in one of my first Senior Bowls I was at. I think the second one I was at. He looked like a menace. You know, he has that mean streak about him, and it was weird to me how he didn't go in like the earlier rounds, and now he's the one getting the last laugh. He's not even on Buffalo, which is where he started. So, you know, it's just a common reminder where even if where you get drafted, it's not even necessarily where you're going to be, which I'm sure you're well aware of. So with that being said, you know, what made you decide to play at Virginia Tech?
Oh man, honestly, you know, coming out of high school, I don't know if you guys know this, but I was a tight end in high school.
No, I did
So
not.
yes, sir. My freshman year of high school, I played defensive end, and the rest of my college career, I played tight end. Never played offensive line ever before I got to Virginia Tech. So me being a heavy tight end in high school, I was a heavy tight end. Me being a heavy tight end in high school, I was getting recruited by a few different schools. I believe I had 23 college offers, and at pretty much every school was telling me, "Lecitus, you're going to be this big, great tight end for us. You're going to catch a lot of touchdown passes. You're going to catch a lot of passes," and just kind of selling me this dream. But some of my coaches had already told me, "Lecitus, you're a big guy. You're a blocking tight end. More than likely, you're going to be an offensive lineman at the next level, at the college level." And with them telling me that, it kind of, like I said, I already had it instilled in the back of my mind. So when I went on some of these official visits, when I actually went to Virginia Tech, Coach James, she was the tight ends coach at Virginia Tech at the time, had told me, "Lecitus, we're going to bring you in as a tight end. If it does not work out, there's a great chance we'll move you to offensive line." So with him being honest with me like that, it made me respect him and that coaching staff a whole lot more, you know. And even aside from that, campus really, really beautiful. Coaches and just random people on campus when I took my official were very welcoming, very nice. So, like I said, all that played a factor, and that ultimately led to me making the decision to attend Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and that's a great kind of intro to what my next question was going to be, which was, you know, looking back at your time playing at Virginia Tech and going to school there, what was your favorite thing about Virginia Tech? You know, if you had to pitch that to maybe any high school athletes listening to this podcast, you know, what kind of sets them apart in your opinion from maybe some other universities that you could have gone to?
Well, for starters, it's a big football. Well, it's not a big town, but they're big on football. Is what I'm trying to get at. Big on football. So, yes, our basketball team is. I'm not sure how they're doing this season, but we have a pretty decent basketball team. But we're big on football. Haven't our football program hasn't done much in these past few years, but our fans are diehard, you know, and they got our back, you know, through thick and thin, especially the real fans. Blacksburg in itself, like I said, not a big town, but very, very beautiful. So, I mean, of course, you can go out and you can have fun like college students do, but a lot of times, you know, me and my girlfriend, we take hikes up in that area. You know, the different hikes they have up in the mountains, and you get to the top, and it's just beautiful, beautiful scenery. So, like I said, the town itself, really, really nice. Fans are loyal and, you know, good fans. That entrance to Inlet Sandman on those Saturday nights is unimaginable. You can't compare it to anything else. So I would pretty much use those three things to sell a college student. A prospect coming out of a high school.
Well, I mean, hey, that's definitely a good pitch there. Lecitus, before I ask you this question, I have to point out, because you said that you have a tight end background.
Yeah.
We interviewed Nicky Allegretti, and he just caught a touchdown in the playoffs by the Chiefs. So we're hoping you follow suit. You know, this streak going. You know, for people that come on the show, you know, you got to catch a touchdown now in the playoffs at some point.
I hope they throw it my way. I'll definitely be open to that. I hope they throw it my way.
And you're going to catch it.
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
Most definitely. Yes,
so I got to ask you now, with that being said, who's the toughest guy? And you play against a lot of good competition. Who's the toughest guy you've gone up against in college?
I'd probably have to say, and this was a few years ago. I believe it was the 2018 season. And like I said, I'm a young bull, you know, a young kid. I I didn't start out the season or anything like that. It was midway through us playing Notre Dame in Lane Stadium. I think it was a Friday night game or a Saturday night game. We were playing Notre Dame, and that is when Jerry Tillery was still there. The big defensive tackle they had. The guy was about 6'6". I'm maybe 6'7", 6'8". Really big dude. He was about 310. And like I said, I'm a young bull, so I'm not even as big as I am now. I wasn't as big as I am now. And I walk out onto the field because my coach threw me in about, I think it was the second quarter or something like that. And I played a lot of snaps that game. But I remember walking onto the field and just looking at him like, what the hell am I about to, what am I going to do with all this, man? Like, y'all want me to block him? Just having those thoughts. Like, what am I supposed to do? But no, I think I definitely got the job done. I mean, like I said, big time dude. He went first round after that season, but I mean, like I said, even me being a young bull in that game, I led with 0 sacks that whole game. And I went against him, pretty much the whole game. So that's definitely something I pat myself on the back for.
Yeah, I mean, I am a Notre Dame fan, so I'm very familiar with Jerry Tillery. I probably watched that game in 2018. So, definitely an accomplishment, I would say, to hold them to 0 sacks, and great experience to go up against a guy like that. He's definitely very talented. So, looking back again at your college career, is there a favorite game that you played in? Is there any particular game? It could even be a couple games that you played in that's going to stay in your memory forever and was just a special moment for you.
I'd probably have to say last year's Virginia game. Of course, we always play Virginia the very last game of the season. Of course, aside from a bowl game, but we played them very last game. It's a rivalry game for us. Last year, we really, really got after them in Lane Stadium, and we really got after them. That was fun. That was a whole lot of fun for me, and that was actually the last time I played next to my guy. Christian Darrisaw. So I played next to him for 3 years, and that was the last game I ever played next to him. And of course, that's when we had Khalil Herbert, and he was running up and down the field.
I know him well.
I'll never forget. I'm sorry?
I know him well. I'm a Kansas Jayhawk fan, so I remember watching him with Puka Williams, who's actually on the Bengals. But it just the way his play just took off when he went to Virginia Tech, it was just like not surprising, and you guys are a big reason for that, clearing out the way for him and all that. So I like that you threw that out there. And I'm a big fan of Darrisaw too. I mean, he was one of my favorite tackles last year. So, that's definitely someone that I know very well of. But I want to ask you, now this question is something I really haven't asked anyone before, but I think it makes a lot of sense for their position. What is the most important trait from your perspective playing the offensive line position, and namely your position, in the interior?
Honestly, mindset. Are you headstrong? Can you finish? Can you continue to drive your feet on run plays and not let your man affect the play? I'm sorry, I know you said one trait, but it's so many different things came to me.
Keep going, man.
Can you adjust to looks? So if the defense shift from a overfront to an underfront, can you adjust to that? If the linebacker shift, or if they bring a linebacker down and they turn it into a stack look, of course, before the ball is snapped, just can you adjust to different looks? Like I said, you have to be mentally headstrong. You have to move well. Like, it's not enough to be a big, strong offensive lineman. Like, it's not good enough to just be that, is what I'm trying to say. Being big and strong, that's great, but can you move? Because you can be as big and strong as you want to, but if the guys cut on tape and see you're just a big block in the way, they're going to run right around you. So have to be able to move well, have to be able to use your hands well. I can keep going. But those are some of the main things. Like, have to be able to move well, have to be mentally strong. You're not gonna win every rep in the trenches. You're just not every single rep. Sometimes you're gonna give up a sack. Even if it's rare, it'll happen. Your man may make the play, especially on the ground game. You have to play the next play. Especially, these D linemen, they like to talk. They love to talk, love to run their mouth. So you got to be mentally headstrong to be able to get up and play the next play.
For sure. Which again kind of leads into the next question, which is always kind of like a tough one, but in your opinion, as a player, what is your biggest strength? And there could be more than one answer to this too, as well.
Yeah,
Like
keep
last
going, man. Whatever you got.
My ability to get to the second level. So I feel like when if I'm working a double team on a backside of an inside zone play, or if it's outside zone away or to me, I'm able to get to that second level with no problem at all and get to that linebacker. Or even if it's the third level, I feel like I'll move well for an offensive lineman. The power that I come off the ball with, and in the running game, I feel like I pack a punch. Coming off that ball, and I can definitely get guys moving in that inside. My ability to move in the passing game. So I feel like I move pretty well. I'm not a heavy-footed guy. I can mirror a lot of guys and get my hands on them and pretty much shut the rest down. So I feel like those are some things that I do really well.
Now I'm going to ask you the tough question. What would you say is the one thing that you really need to work on the most?
Hand placement in the passing game. My angles, the angles that I take getting to the second level. So like I said, I feel like I do a good job at getting out. I'm not going to get stuck on double teams. Even if I have to kind of give them that Heisman look where I just give a hand to my tackle or my center and get to that second level, I do a good job at getting there. But some of my angles that I take sometimes can be poor. So, I'm not shy to admit my flaws. It's somehow, it's things I work on every day. So just trying to get better at things like that.
Yeah, totally. That's awesome. And it's awesome to have that self-awareness too. That's the first step, and having to work on something is just knowing what you got to do, and then the easy part is working on it. But this is kind of like a fun question, but going into the NFL, is there any one defensive lineman, if you had to choose one defensive lineman to go up against in an NFL game, is there one that stands out?
That's a good question. I don't know why Aaron Donald pops into my head, but I don't think I want to say his
one.
name.
He's a
I'm sorry.
He's a popular answer.
He's the best. Who wouldn't want to go up against the best, to prove themselves?
Exactly.
Man. If not him, I'd probably have to say, I don't know. He's the first name that comes to my mind. He's the first one. I say he's literally, like I said, I feel like it's not hard to understand why he's a popular name or why everybody likes to say him.
Exactly.
Best. Everybody wants to go after the best.
Yeah, you actually just reminded me, Alexis and I, this is going to be the first year where people, like when we have corners on, they don't want to pick off Tom Brady because everyone would say Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. So you just reminded me, like, that's one of those questions that we ask. Who would you want to be matched up on? You said the best with Aaron Donald. A lot of people say that. And that makes a lot of sense because, iron sharpens iron. But I got to ask, because we are the Downtown Rams podcast. Obviously, it's really early on in the draft process, but have you spoken at all to the Los Angeles Rams?
Yes. At the Reese Senior Bowl. So I've spoken with them briefly, and it was just pretty much me sitting down with some of their player personnel people, just them getting some background info on me, and just kind of talk about my home life and how I grew up and my siblings and my parents and things like that. So it wasn't anything too official, but of course we still have the combine coming up, so hopefully they grab me and want to have a one-on-one convo then, and want to get a little bit deeper into ball or just understanding me more as a person. So it hasn't happened yet, but hopefully it does.
Yeah, well, it's good for us to hear, that you talk to them, because we're fans of you, of course, and so we like to hear that, and definitely we'll be hoping that you guys talk at the combine as well. And real quick, but I was going to ask kind of a question, the last football related question, but how was your experience at the Senior Bowl? because that's a really big event, and I'm sure that was really exciting.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I'm being honest, like I went into it just really anxious and a little nervous, only because I didn't know what to expect. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was definitely some excitement there. 100%, because at the end of the day, Jim Nagy told us our first night there. He told us that it's literally the best up against the best. It's some of the best draft prospects in this upcoming NFL draft going up against each other. So I mean, it was definitely a really, really good experience. I mean, we got there initially. We got there, I think Sunday. We got there Sunday. It was a whole bunch of testing, that honestly sucked. But Monday is when we actually met our coaches, and I was on the American team, so I was with the Detroit Lions. And it was cool meeting some of their coaches and talking to Hank Fraley, their offensive line coach, and getting that playbook. Monday was another packed out day, so it was honestly pretty tough to get into that playbook with all the meetings and things we had. So Tuesday practice, with me not really being able to get in that playbook like I wanted to, Tuesday practice wasn't very good for me. It wasn't necessarily a terrible day. It wasn't a bad day, but I just had higher expectations for myself. Like I said, it's me just proving myself right, proving to myself that I belong here, that I'm worthy, that I'm, different things like the chip that I have on my shoulder, me just trying to prove myself right. So I didn't feel like I did that Tuesday. I'm sorry. Didn't feel like I did that Tuesday, but that Tuesday afternoon wasn't as many meetings, didn't have so many interviews for different teams. I was able to actually sit down and study that playbook and go through different plays and different looks. And that Wednesday was a whole lot better for me. So Tuesday was a slow start, and Wednesday was a whole lot better for me. And it was just a good week overall. It was.
No, that's awesome. And it's funny when you said you weren't sure what to expect and you were anxious. I kind of thought, in a different way, because obviously I don't play football, but just my first time going to the Senior Bowl, and I just remember not knowing what to expect. I, flew out there on my own dime, really just trying to, brush shoulders with people and get to know people, and on the same time, because from your perspective, it's like, you know, it's supposed to be like your Pro Bowl, but at the same time, it's like there's so much pressure because now everybody is like looking at you, as a prospect. And so it's like, you want to have fun, but at the same time, it's also, this is part of the business, aspect. So, it's hard to balance that out just as much as it is, not as much, but for me, I found it was really hard to balance out three different things: getting social media content, getting people talking about it, scouting, because doing everything at once, and then networking. So I think that's just, it's cool because the Senior Bowl, you're able to take, things out of it, and different people do different things with it. So I totally understood with what you were saying there. Now I'm going to ask you, who is Lecitus Smith as a player, and who is Lecitus Smith as a person?
So, me as a player, I am a relentless, hard-nosed guy that is going to finish through the whistle every single time. I'm a guy that's going to get after other guys. I'm a guy that, like I said, I give my all every single play, especially, when I know what to do. I mean, it's a little bit harder for me. It's a little bit harder for me to kind of just run through somebody's face if I'm not sure what to do. But once I'm able to kind of understand things and be able to point out, okay, we're going here, we're going there, the Mike's there, the Sam's there, and just know all those things, then I'm able to do my job and do it well. I'm a very, very challengeable guy. I love a challenge. I'm a very competitive guy. Like I said, I'm gonna get after it every single play. If a coach asks me to do something, I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability. That's the type of player I am. I don't come with an ego. So whatever team drafts me, I mean, that's something they should definitely know. No matter how high or low I get picked, or even if I just get signed. At the end of the day, I'm there to work and earn a job and earn my spot on that team. So that's my type of mindset as a player. As a person, funny, loving guy, charismatic guy. I love to cook. I love to shop. Love to travel. I'm big on getting outdoors. Like I said, 9 times out of 10, hanging out with my girlfriend when I'm not course, doing football, training for football, whether that's lifting weights or running or working on my 40 time. Whenever I'm not doing that, and I'm not studying defensive fronts and things like that, and just looking at some tape, I'm hanging out with my girlfriend. We're tied at the hip. We do a lot of things together. So it's pretty much who I am on and off the field.
Well, that's awesome. Those are both great answers. We've really, really enjoyed, getting to talk to you, and we will certainly be following everything that you do, throughout the rest of this draft process, and obviously in the draft. No matter where you go, we'll be cheering for you, even though we hope it is the Rams. But if that doesn't happen, we still will be in your corner and rooting you on. And before you go, I just like to ask, because I'm a really big movie and music fan
Mm-hmm.
and TV fan.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could give me one TV show recommendation and one album recommendation, because I will listen to the album, and the TV show, if I haven't seen it, I'll check it out. If not, we can just have that cool thing in common. Jake knows this because I'm always like sending him TV shows to watch.
This is facts.
Wow, I was about to say you might be ahead of me. Okay, so a few shows that I watch that me and my girl kind of watch together. You probably seen the TV show.
Oh, fantastic.
You know what? I haven't. It's on my list.
Oh, you know what? This is how it works. So it's a one-sided thing. So if I tell her to watch something, she doesn't watch it. But when she tells me to watch something, I watch it. That's how this thing works.
Wow. You should definitely watch You should definitely watch it.
I know I need to, because everyone says that I need to watch it. I know I do.
It's fantastic.
That Outer Banks was a good show in my opinion. Good show in my opinion.
That is also on my list.
Yes, Outer Banks is a good show. Sometimes we even watch Ginny in Georgia. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Yes.
That sounds familiar. I don't know why.
I've seen a little bit of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Good show as well. We got a few that we're waiting on another season. Good Girls. Another good show. I mean, we be up on the Netflix shows. So, I mean, 9 times out of 10, my girlfriend will find a show, and then she'll be like, "Oh, we have to watch this. We have to watch it. It's a good show." I kind of look through the trailer or whatever. And initially, when we sit down and watch it, in the first few minutes, I'm like, "Man, you're making me sit through this. I'm gonna watch it. This looks stupid." And the next thing you know, we get into that first episode, or maybe even that second, and I'm looking like, "Wait, this is kind of good." And now I'm locked into it. And like I said, when I get back, when I get done from training, when I come back from training for the day, we sit down and now we're binge watching it. So that's usually how it works. As far as music, honestly, one of my favorite artists is Rod Wave. You probably never heard of him.
I have heard of him.
Really?
I have. I don't know. I think I have one song. I'd have to look. I think I have one song of his, but I always check when albums drop, like at on Friday at midnight. It's 11 p.m. my time. Mm-hmm. And I think he had an album come out like a few months ago.
Yes, he did.
I think I listened to it. I don't know. I'll have to see.
I really, really like his music. I mean, a lot of people was like, "Oh, he sings and he whines too much," and he pretty much makes a lot of sad songs. But he has some really, really good songs. He makes really, really good music. You can hear what he's saying because, of course, in a lot of rap, guys get on like beats and it's like they just like saying a bunch of nonsense. Like, I don't know. But you can hear the words he's saying. But no, he makes some pretty good music. One of his songs that I do recommend is called "Get Ready." It's called "Get Ready" by Rod Wave. You should listen to it. I feel like it speaks to me. I feel like that'll be the song I listen to on draft day. After I get picked, that'll be the song I listen to. It's called "Get Ready" by Rod Wave.
Well, then I will make sure to check it out. Really Get Ready by Rod Wave, and I guess I'm going to have to move the show up farther on my list. Because I can no longer avoid it.
Thank you, Lecitus. Thank you. Been trying to get her to watch it. She's watching New Girl, though, so I got to give her credit.
I finally started, New Girl. I got Jake to watch Euphoria, which everyone I feel like is watching right now.
Yes. I didn't even mention Euphoria, but I right before I got on here, I told my girlfriend, I was like, I can't wait till Sunday till that new episode come out. So
Me
we're waiting on
too.
that. Yeah.
Jake still has to watch. I think you told me today that you still have to watch like this week's.
Yeah, I got to
Yeah,
watch
so
the
he's an
newest
episode behind.
episode, but I
So
did
we
catch
won't
up.
spoil it for you.
So
Yeah.
But yeah, very good show. But all
Yes.
right, thank you so much for the recommendations. I always, like I said, huge film, TV, music junkie, so I'm always curious to pick people's brains on that. But again, thank you so much to Lecitus Smith, interior offensive lineman from Virginia Tech, for coming on the show. Follow him on social media. He's going to do big things in this league. We really believe in him. Thank you so much again.
Yes. Thank you both for having me. Like I said, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys just wanting to talk to me overall. And you guys have a great night.
you too,
Thank you.
Lecitus. You
You
take
too.
care and stay healthy. That's
Thank
the most important thing there.
Yes, sir. We'll do.